Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Tuesday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, sports, and so much more. I am Glenora Shipura. Getting into the news tonight, a failed attempted armed robbery took place early this morning at around 4 a.m. at the Puma service station in Rehoboth. The quick action of the service station manager led to the apprehension of 4 suspects who attempted to carry out the crime. These suspects panicked and abandoned their plan after a security officer overheard one of them saying, "We must tie them up." Surveillance footage later revealed that one of the suspects was seen holding a firearm. Law enforcement responded swiftly, and the suspects were taken into custody before they could carry out their intentions. In our next story, the body of a Namibian man believed to be in his early 60s was recovered this morning near a factory in Walvis Bay following a suspected drowning. Monarch Lifeguard and Emergency Services assisted police in retrieving the remains, which appeared to have been in the water for at least a day. Police are currently investigating the incident. Fishrod Judge Moses Shinhengo ruled earlier today that the highly anticipated Fishrod trial will only start on August 4th, 2025. Now, parties will meet on May 16th, 2025 to address issues like lack of legal representation that have delayed proceedings. In the last of our top stories, the Oshakati Town Council has decided to write off the debts of those clients who have passed on, which the council say is in the region of $5 million. Now, according to a press release issued yesterday, the local authority indicated that the debts that will be written off must have been for 20 years or more. As part of its ongoing commitment to alleviating the financial burden on residents, the Oshakati Town Council has made the compassionate decision to write off all outstanding debts on residential municipal accounts registered in the names of deceased persons. The statement reads, "This decision follows the Council's observation that over 147 residential accounts belonging to deceased persons are in areas amounting to $5 million, which is classified as bad debts. These debts include charges for water usage rates and taxes, refuse removal, fire brigade services, and sewerage, which are typically part of municipal accounts. To provide relief to families struggling to settle these accounts and to ensure they can move forward without the added stress of inherited financial obligations, the Council made this decision during its Council meeting in November 2024. The initiative will take effect from the 25th of February 2025 and includes all residential municipal accounts of deceased persons, regardless of the amount accumulated. According to Oshakati Town Council, the benefit of this initiative is to provide financial relief to families, enable the transfer of properties to new owners, and facilitate access to water and other municipal services. Residents of Oshakati are urged to apply for the reconnection of water on these accounts, as most have been disconnected due to arrears. The local authority further said that it would notify family members of all deceased persons in Oshakati about this decision. However, any family that believes they qualify for this initiative is encouraged to approach the council for assistance. The Oshakati Town Council understands the difficulties that families face after the loss of a loved one and believes that these measures will provide much needed relief. This decision aligns with the council's mission to serve the residents of Oshakati with compassion and fairness. The statement reads. Now you can read more on this story in the Namibian Sun tomorrow. And that concludes our top stories. On the other side of the break, we take a look at our community talk.
We are all seeking connection. Seems like poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahana.
Sy sê wie is er aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
But just enough next.
Running that mountain up. So we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love that. I love that. So then
Kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
Getting into our community talk, Hermine Bertolani established N-Pets to give women and girls their dignity back, especially those who are not privileged enough to afford a pack of disposable sanitary pads for every cycle. This report was entered in by Otis Daniels. Let's take a look.
Here in Namibia, we do have a very, very high rate of teenage pregnancies.
Yes.
And I strongly believe it's not because of stupidity, it's because of ignorance. Because menstruation is the basis of the human species and we don't talk about it. So in my field, we use the word period poverty.
Okay.
And with period poverty means the lack of education. And I am convinced that our high teenage pregnancy rate is because of the lack of education. It's still a taboo. We are not supposed to talk about it at home.
Yes.
We find cultural issues about menstruation. We don't see menstruation as normal human development. That's the first one. The second one is the lack of sanitary products. The fact that children don't go to school, the girl child, because they can't afford it. So we concentrate basically on those two components of period poverty. With the lack of education, I wrote a book, Anne's Journey to Womanhood, to address all these aspects. I did a lot of primary research from north to south, east to west of Namibia to get information what's going on in Namibia specifically. The male must also understand the importance and how menstruation works.
Yes.
Because a girl, if she doesn't get a period, she can't get a baby.
Yes.
That's why we say it's the basis of the human species. But the man must understand that. For the second one, the lack of sanitary pads, we've decided to manufacture washable pads.
Wow.
Washable pads for different reasons. First of all, the person can wash it. And this is not a new thing, mind you?
Yes.
Yes, before the disposables,
Yes.
we used to have
Washable.
You can go and ask your great-grandmother and so on. They're very much aware of the washable pad. You can use it up to 4 years if you do take good care of it. So which means money is involved for the parent. You don't need to buy
Yes.
every time. You help Mother Earth. And then the other misconception is washable pads is not just for the poor. It's for each and everybody. So in the pad, actually, we get 3 layers, basically 4.
Yes.
The first one is what we call a topper.
Yes.
The second one is what the topper is the moisture management and the absorbency must be good.
Yes.
Otherwise, the person will feel wet. So then we get the second one, we call it the core. There we put the different layers. It depends on the thickness. The third one is we call the backing. That's a kind of a certain plastic type we use to make sure that the blood will not go through.
Okay.
And then the fourth one is normally just the color. You see that it looks good.
Yes.
And that is basically the 4
components
that we use for the washable pad. And then we also put a press stud to make sure it will go around like this, that it will not move while the girl is going.
Okay.
So the girl can adjust that as well.
Most recently, you received a donation of about a ton of salt. from Walvis Bay salt refiners. What does the salt do? Where does that fit in?
Oh, we're so grateful for that one, because we also find that we must train the girls how to take care. That is important, how to take care of the washable pad.
Yes.
And well, a washable pad is you wash it as normal, no problem. As you wash your shirt, your trouser, any soap, doesn't matter. Anything that you use at home to wash yourself, any kind of soap you can use.
Yes.
But say after the use for a week, you can always disinfect it.
Yes.
And that is the role. Salt is very, very important. And that's why we are so grateful for Walvis Bay Salt, that we can assist many girl child. Because what we do normally, you find a bucket to assist them, mostly those in the hostels,
yes,
that they can have the facilities. So the packet is one of 4 pads, 2 thicker ones and 2 thin ones.
Yes.
An instruction leaflet.
Yes.
A soap and the salt. And the salt. And then we give this extra bag. This bag specifically is for the child to take an extra one to school. So that when she must change to a clean one, she'll use the clean one, and the used one she'll put back and come and wash it when she's home, to make sure it's not between her books and so. One pad now is only $25.
Okay.
So if a child, at least, according to the statistics, can have 4, and that child will take good care of it, there will no need to buy pads for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
If providing, the child will take good care of it.
A beautiful cause indeed. After the break, we take a look at our story of the day.
Slow internet should be a headache of the past, yet many Namibians have connections that just aren't fast. We have a solution that might set you free. It's called Mobile LTE, and it comes with real speed. You'll enjoy up to 50 megabytes per second from just $300 Namibian a month, and free internet browsing after midnight till 6. When it comes to staying connected, this is it. Visit Paratus.africa/Namibia or our branches nationwide and experience the thrill of better internet with Paratus by your side.
Always prepared, Paratus.
Getting into our story of the day, Winnie Mukupuki, the granddaughter of the late founding father Dr. Sam Nujoma, delivers a poem in honor of him at the official memorial service at the Kcipmud Stadium in Walvis Bay. Let's take a look.
The title is The Legacy of Dr. Sam Nujoma, A Life Well Lived. A life purposefully lived, divinely appointed. Difficult circumstances, so clearly poignant. You rose to the challenge, uncertain but determined, sacrificing your family's stability and leaving your homeland. You unified the oppressed, fearful and forsaken, championing dignity and self-determination. From Southwest Africa to Namibia, a befitting name for the nation. Rest now, Tatekulu. We are in good hands, though undoubtedly shaken. I thank you.
Swinging over to economic news, Ipumbu has urged the Namibia Industrial Development Agency to foster a high-performance culture. We tackle this on the other side of the break.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahana.
Sy sê wie is er aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en is
but just enough next.
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love that. I love that. So then
Kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
Getting into our economic news, the Minister of Finance and Public Enterprises, Ipumbushimi, has urged the Namibia Industrial Development Agency to foster a high-performance culture and avoid complacency in driving the agency forward. Speaking at NIDA's annual report briefing at their head office, Shimi pointed out that rather than seeking additional capital beyond the $3 billion equity, the agency should focus on securing working capital by strengthening relationship with financial institutions. Philippus Joseph gave in this report.
For breakfast or lunch. So you can have all these nice strategies and things like that, but if you have a rotten culture, when people come to work, they will just be chit-chatting in the corridors, and 4 hours ago, nothing has been done. So when the employees at the cattle ranch are not mending the fences or making sure that, you know, the cows are separated, that productivity goes down. And therefore the cash flow that this gentleman needs, Mr. Ikevali, because I'm still coming to him because he needs cash flow. The cash flow that he needs is gone. So it's important that we promote a high performance culture with a performance management system that makes sure that people, first of all, contribute their part, because we are all here to make a contribution. All staff members are here to make a contribution, and therefore that should come out in the performance management culture of the organization, or performance management framework of the organization. So everything has been said already, so I don't want to belabor what has been said already. But let me come back to Mr. Gavali. If I was a business analyst, I would be happy to see this balance sheet, but it's a very lazy balance sheet. So you have $3 billion of assets. You don't need additional capital. What you need is working capital, not equity capital. It's working capital, and usually working capital doesn't come from shareholders. It comes from financial institutions. Now, this is a starting point for you. Nobody will give you working capital without financial statements. So if you have financial statements, I'm sure financiers will want to look at your balance sheet and say, oh, this entity is highly capitalized. With a leverage, a gearing ratio of 22%, that's low debt. We can sweat this balance sheet. So yes, I understand maybe while you are sorting out your problems, you may need some working capital, but it means these assets must.
We now take a look at our financial indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 23.23, against the euro at 19.27, against the US dollar at 18.34. $2 Namibian and 53 cents gets you one Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold and Brent crude oil went down while platinum and copper went up. Brent crude oil trading at 0.88%, going for $74 and 33 cents per barrel. Getting into our international news, Kenya has received 17 mountain bongos, a very rare type of antelope, from a conservation center in the United States. The antelopes are third-generation descendants of mountain bongos taken from Kenya in the 1960s. The return of the critically endangered animals from the Rare Species Conservation Foundation in Florida was hailed as a monumental step in Kenya's conservation efforts. From about 500 in the 1970s, less than 100 mountain bongos are estimated to remain in the wild in Kenya, according to the Kenya Wildlife Service. Tourism Minister Rebecca Miano described the arrival of the bongos at the country's main airport on Sunday night as emotional and so cool, and a benefit for Kenya's tourism and conservation sectors. The animals were taken to wildlife sanctuaries in Meru County near Mount Kenya, where they will be nurtured before they are gradually introduced to their natural habitat. Miano said the mountain bongo, a species originally only found in Kenya, has suffered untold grief over the decades, dwindling to alarming proportions. We now take a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. The capital city can expect some rain with a minimum of 18 and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Hobabis can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. Rokana can expect a minimum of 20 and a maximum of 24 degrees Celsius with cloudy conditions, while Oshakati can expect a minimum of 18 and maximum of 27 degrees Celsius with some rain. Rehoboth can expect a minimum of 20 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius with some rain conditions as well, while Mariental can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 23 and a maximum of 36 degrees Celsius. We now take a look at the world of sports, courtesy of Sports Rep.
Good evening and welcome to the Sunset News Sports section courtesy of Sport Rep. I'm Jesse Jackson Kauraitha, and now we move into the news about NIPDB here. Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, NIPDB, has embarked on a journey to help the development of sport in the country. The board is planning on ways in which sport tourism in the country can play a role in terms of developing the fraternity. The board is looking at concepts such as using big-name athletes from Namibia to promote sport at a global level. NIPDB officials last week Thursday gave a presentation during a stakeholders engagement between the Sports Commission, media and Federation. The Executive Director of Competitiveness and Branding of NIPDB, Margaret Gustavo, is adamant that Namibian sport has the potential to reach greater heights. That is all we have for you this evening. Good night.
That was Jesse Jackson Kauraitha with the sports news. And on that note, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the Animage platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, onep2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every Monday to Thursday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.